Welcome to everybody in the community. It's great to have everybody here. Just to kind of preface the presentation a little bit, we did a presentation on an update on the protocol and also the L1X app at an event last Thursday. And it was a great event. We had about 100 people turn up to the event in our offices here in Perth, and the feedback was just really amazing from investors, from crypto enthusiasts, from projects, and it was always our aim to update the community as well as to be able to then go ahead and present an update to you guys what we've been up to. We've been busy. And so it's really exciting for us to be able to take you through what we've been doing. What I'll probably do is lead off with, so as I said before, it'll be an update on the protocol. It'll be an update on the L1X app. Chief will take us through some projects. Merkelroot's going to take us through plenty of information on both sides of the protocol and the app, and I'll take us through some information as well. So buckle up. We're about to begin, and Chief is going to kick us off.
Okay, so what I want to do is probably talk a little bit today about some of the projects that we've been working on with grants and where they're actually going. So obviously we've got Dega Labs. They're building out a gaming launchpad solution, and the games that we're going to be releasing on there. We've identified about 9 games, of which the first 3 are coming through at the moment, and we've got about so we'll move on from those 3 to the 9. And we've got about 40 others under consideration at the moment. We're also talking with a significant number of other gaming studios about their games as well to bring them on. Just to quote the Dega Labs CEO, Can, quote, "I can't wait to spread L1X's capabilities to the world. We will prepare a good PR and marketing campaign for our partnership, and spreading this news is really important for both parties that we can create a good brand awareness for LayerOneX and Dega Labs together." They're so excited. Just the messages that have been coming back and forwards from them has been pretty phenomenal. We're being really careful and selective of the projects and capabilities that we're onboarding. And what we're putting in place for L1X is actually building foundation solutions across some very significant market sectors. As you all know, the gaming, we're about to talk a little bit about digital identity, the DeFi projects, the L1 DEX, it's all really starting to come together. We've also got another one coming, which is, you can see on the screen there, Hype. So that's a pretty sophisticated blockchain-based solution that uses NFTs, non-fungible tokens for services, that will enable them from a recruitment side to actually provide clients with an immutable, transparent and efficient system for managing resource allocation and usage and hours of work. So there'll be probably 2 different NFT classes in there. I'm not going to go through details of that. We'll start publishing that out there over time. But it's a pretty exciting piece of work to be able to really decentralise recruitment and effort on projects. Now, over the last few weeks, I'm going to talk about the next one. It's actually we think this is not just big. This is absolutely humongous. We've partnered up with a blockchain called OnChain, and we've had many meetings with them over the past few weeks. And I know Merkelroot's been doing some pretty amazing work with them and talking with them. I was just talking with him earlier this morning, and he's putting in place some pretty impressive things. So who is OnChain? So they're a layer 1 blockchain. They're based out of Turkey that has been built using the Hyperledger Besu, which is an EVM-based blockchain aiming to provide digital identity-based verification services to governments, institutions and enterprises. Now, what they've put in place is actually a partnership with the government of Turkey. So they've inked an agreement with the Turkish government to be a technology provider and establish digital identity for the citizens of Turkey that will help link intergovernment services and also to be able to enable those users to be able to identify themselves with commercial businesses as well. So I'll be going through that certification. Now, what about the users? So how many are they aiming for and how many do they currently have onboarded? Well, interestingly, Kevin was showing me this morning some screenshots of some of the stuff. And they've already got 4 million citizens and users onboarded for that digital identity. And they're aiming to build that up to a total of 15 million. In other words, all of the citizens of Turkey. And that's pretty huge. You can imagine 15 million wallet holders out there. That's really starting to put in place all of the wallets and all of the infrastructure we need for true decentralization. Now, how are they partnering up with us? Well, L1X is the technology provider to on-chain, and we'll provide the infrastructure to enable that decentralized digital identity for their users. And that will also enable them to expand their offering by introducing things like our space cards, and that will allow users to provide information on separate cards that they can then share out as they choose. That users will control that data, and that could be across things like health, education, social, gaming. And I'm going to let Kevin talk a little bit more about that when he jumps on shortly. We've also got HealthLink. I know we've spoken about that a number of times. That's the actual health solution that we're putting in place for the Singapore government to enable the exchange of memos or letters between, say, hospitals to doctors, and also entire health records that will be able to be shared across, whether it's from a hospital to a doctor back to the hospital, or to specialists of any type. Again, that's pretty huge. The L1X app, I'm not going to go through a lot of detail of that. You guys have started seeing some of the screenshots, and you've actually started seeing it on wallets, and that's also pretty huge. We've also got another one which I'll just mention, and that is a commercial real estate solution. I'm not going to mention the name just yet. We're just finalising and doing the inking of that agreement. But the best way I can describe it is that globally, the current monetary systems are broken. Conventional money is not designed to preserve value. The printing presses of the government mints are just running overtime, and it doesn't matter what country, and that's happening. Inflation's through the roof. Central banks print money faster than ever. The rapidly decreasing value of money forces people to work harder and longer to afford those basic necessities. Just imagine a decentralized digital currency backed by commercial real estate, an auto yield generating stable coin based on real estate investments. For me, that is huge. When you start looking at, like I said, the inflation through the roof, imagine a stable coin based on commercial real estate. It's starting to be to look pretty huge. The L1X guys, they're really starting to make some progress, and we expect that one to be coming out very, very soon. And we're pretty excited about all the work that's going to be happening across not just L1X, but all of the other components that make it up around things like the balancer pool and all the rewards that'll be coming from staking, etc. So I'll pass back to across to Merkelroot. He can give you a little bit more of an update on his side.
Yep. Can you hear me clearly?
We've got you.
Perfect. Yeah, I think first of all, good morning. As usual, just trying to be alive. So I'll divide the my presentation probably in 3 different parts. So first we'll go through the current status of the protocol from the engineering side and what's coming up next, and then we'll probably move towards the L1X app and completely new features that we are going to roll out. So until now, introducing Xtalk smart contracts and the ability for businesses and projects to go cross-chain, that's been well received.
All right,
but at the same time, I think
to
build a cohesive system that we can keep using and building upon, it's important to keep updating the protocol. So the Xtalk smart contracts, have been received well, and we have seen that these contracts have proven to be, a good substitute for bridges currently. But moving on, to the Oracle system on the next slide, one of the challenges that we faced, was bringing Web2 data into Web3. And if you talk about Web3 identity, and you try to couple it with cross-chain, you need information that you have already generated from Web2 into Web3. And we try to use Chainlink to do that, but to give you an example, first of all, it's not reliable. I mean, because it it just doesn't give you the data as quickly as you require. It's expensive and it's pretty complicated to set up. So what we've been working on for the past few weeks is building our own Oracle system. And to give you an understanding, you'll be able to bring any form of Web2 data into the protocol. And at the same time, this information will be verified on the protocol, and you can do it probably, at 100 maybe of a cost that the market currently looks at. But we are making this Oracle system pretty agnostic, where even chains like Ethereum, Polygon, or all the other guys can use this Oracle system to feed data back into their protocol. But it's designed, of course, for the L1X system, but our goal is, of course, cross-chain. So we'll open up the Oracle system for the other people as well. Now, if you have an Oracle system, moving on to the next slide, and you want to bring data into Web3, and we'll see how this all is going to be blended together, with the L1X app features in those slides. You need some kind of, ability to have an off-chain or an on-chain database, source. So if you have a profile picture, if you have some kind of information that you want to, bring into Web3, these database nodes will allow you to, store the information there, but the data will be encrypted. So, only you as the owner of the data, you can decrypt the information. And these database nodes, will be extending the three types of nodes that we have. So, we'll have 4 types of nodes after that. But it's pretty modular. So, you can pick and choose which nodes you want, which functionalities you want. So we are trying to couple up the Oracle system with the database nodes. Now, moving on to the next one, we've seen the Xtalk contracts, allowing you the ability for exchanging information or logic cross-chain. Now, with the Oracle system and the database nodes that, that will be going out,
all right,
it's very important to understand, that if you were to have all this data on Web3, how do you control it? Because there is no centralized authority that allows you to log into a specific application like Facebook and copy an image from there and share it with someone else or share a status. So we are building. Actually, we have already done it. So we are going to release 4 different types of contracts. Completely new way of looking at things. So the first one is an access control contract. So basically, let's say you have, your profile information, name, email, mobile number, and, you have your profile picture stored on Web3, which is encrypted, but you want to share that with someone. You can, share that information through the access control contract and revoke it back as well. And whatever this person does with this information, you'll have a sight over it. So you can see, what this person is doing. The version control contract is coupled up with the access control contract where, you could have various versions of information. So for example, you have name, email, your profile picture, but you can have your address as well, your home address. Now, that's not something you should go out and start sharing with everyone. So there are various versions attached to your personal information. It could be, versions for health information. And these versions can be, pre-built and it can be shared with people. It's like sharing a business card, right? I mean, if you meet someone, you share the same business card over and over again, but people's demand are different. So you create various versions of the data that you have, through a graphical user interface and, control who accesses this information. There will be a data contract as well. And, the data contract basically allows you to store this information, and through the access control and the version control, you can allocate this information, by navigating what kind of data are you trying to share. If that data is not readily available, so you can bring that data in and say, okay, I only want this person to use it and this version to be used. The last one we have is the retention, control contract. So very simply put, when you, go on to various exchanges or you go on to, get a loan, you keep on giving them the KYC documents again and again and again and again. So what we are trying to do over here is, according to the W3C, data standard, your information that you upload will be owned by you. And let's say any application, or a project wants to access this information. You can give them temporary access, but with the ability that they can't read that information. So if you had to share your bank account details, they are trying to find, how much you're making, what are your expenses. They don't need to see you're buying $100 worth of groceries from, Woolworths on this day and this time. So retention control is giving the data but not letting them see that, so they can't retain that information. So moving on, we saw that, to the AVDR contracts, and it's going to work very, very simple. So, we'll have usernames or wallet addresses. Attached to that wallet address, you can have these data that you upload. And again, if you have 4 to 5 different type of wallet address, you can just allocate the access to one wallet address. That's where the access control contract can also work. So you don't need 5, 6 addresses to know where is my information, which account has that. And it will all be linked to the LayerOneX, usernames that we are going to let out. So moving on, roadmap to date, and L1X App basically is a way that we are going to showcase these, technologies or features, because as you saw, as Fred mentioned that, or Chief mentioned that, we're getting projects like putting 15 million people on the blockchain, from Turkey. You get projects like, trying to put health information, through the Singapore. You got gaming projects. Now, these things are great, but, we want to make this technology usable by everyone, not only the project users, right? So L1X App is a way of, moving on to the next slide, L1X App is a way of experiencing these new technologies from a single space, right? So think of L1X App as the gateway into creating your own space. And we can create our own home screen. You customize the way you have your Explorer. And moving on to the next slides, as simple as connecting your wallet. So each and everything has been built from the user's perspective that, you go in, you connect your wallet, and, next screen is personalizing your space. So the widgets that you see over there, allows you to access information from one place. So it's like a sneak peek, right? You don't need to go into that project and sign in again with your wallet and look at all that information there. And in the coming time, you'll be able to customize these widgets as well. Now, one of the other beauty about this is any application building with us can list on L1X App. Think of it like a Web3, app store concept, where, of course, there are certain guardrails that they have to go through to list, because we don't want users to get, scammy projects. But it's a quick way of looking at new projects and sneak peeking into, whether you want to use it or not. On the next slide, you've got the Explorer, where the Explorer has been built from ground up. And, think of the Explorer where it's customized to you. So if you do a single transaction like a swap or a stake, in the next feature, you'll be able to quickly, automatically follow that wallet. Or right now, you can manually follow a wallet by putting in an address. And when you want to see transactions related to that, on the left-hand side, you have those folders. Now, of course, these folders are pre-made for you right now. But in the coming time, you could have like a folder, between a family. And if you had to do a transaction, you could have a transaction pending where one person signs it and the other person is waiting. So you could have a pending transaction list that you could sign straight away from there. We also have the junk concept in there. So one of the questions that we had, I think 6 or a few months ago we had got was, how do we eradicate these dust tokens that don't mean anything, right? So we have the junk folder there where people building tokens on L1X, if we think that these tokens, don't have the right TVL behind them, don't have the right utility behind them, algorithmically it will be in the junk. But of course, you will be able to move it from the junk to the main folder as well. But again, because you connect your wallet and do these transactions, you're a valid account. Now, if the project themselves start moving from the junk to the main folder, it's not going to work, because you got to prove that you're a user on the L1XApp.com by connecting your wallet and, going through all these things. The next one, is portfolio. Now, think of the portfolio as your one-stop solution where it's going to extend into everything where, your current, if you're currently staked or provided liquidity, you can view all those assets there. It will also have referral portfolio. So if you make referral fees, it will also have, the ability for wallet profiling. So if you just connect your wallet, it will show all your assets in one place, and it will also tell you what you could do with your assets. And at the same time, with the coming up launch pads, coming up, NFT marketplaces, your NFT badges, your portfolio will contain all that straight away in there. So you don't have to go anywhere else to check, these assets. You could just go directly to your portfolio and check that as well. Now, before I move into, the coming up features on L1Xapp.com and how, you can start seeing that this is bringing information from Web 2 to Web 3 and monetizing your data, or even controlling, right, how we are going about it with a completely new concept called as Space Cards and Galaxy. I'll let maybe, Spark go through a few things that you can already do as well on the L1X app and what's coming up next by the mid of this month as well.
Yeah, thanks, Michael Root, for that. So I want to talk about Chief. Can we change slides? Thanks, mate. So I think probably the most used action in crypto is the swap action. And now I saw people have already been using the cross-chain swaps through the L1X app, which is fantastic. It's fast, the speed is there. Obviously, with our solution, you're using a lot less contracts than you would with a normal cross-chain solution, which are interacting with anywhere from 8, 10, 12 contracts each side. And for those of the guys who don't already know, every time you interact with a contract, it increases the time it takes to do that cross-chain swap, but also increases the gas fee. And so when you're using crosstalk in terms of the swap function on the app, we're only interacting, well, crosstalk only interacts with one contract each side on the source and destination chain, which one increases the speed. That's why you'll see that speed being so fast, and also lowers the gas fee. It's also deterministic, so you can be confident in terms of what you're sending this end will, in terms of the amount, will turn up on the other end as well. Now, also, just to kind of give you a bit of an update, currently, obviously, we're building liquidity up from the single staking for the cross-chain swaps. So we've limited the amount that you can go cross-chain with, or you can swap cross-chain with. We will increase that. And with that, we will also be introducing the new pricing structure. And that pricing structure, I'm sure you'll all see that pricing structure will be highly competitive and less than, Stargate, Squidradar, in terms of what they're charging for any amounts. So whether you're swapping, $50, $1,000, $20,000, $100,000. And so not only will it be faster, it'll be cheaper as well. If you can swap, I'll go to the next slide. Thanks, Chief. So not only is it just swapping cross-chain, it's also swapping and sending in one click. So for example, if I want to send, BNB from my wallet, and I want to send and have that turn up as Solana in your wallet, then it'll have the feature where you can do that. So it will swap for you and send for you all in one click. So me sending BNB, I don't have to have Sol to send you Sol. I can send BNB or AVAX to Phantom or whatever it is. And so once again, making it so much simpler for the user. And also what it does with the swap and send, it also introduces the ability for micropayments. So allowing users to be able to make crypto payments, with either, service providers or goods providers that take crypto, for you to be able to swap and send to that provider, and obviously have them transact on the currency they wish to transact on, but you can actually send it from the currency you have in your wallet. So it will swap it to the currency that the provider wants to accept, and then send it to that provider for the micropayments. So all of these are features that the L1X app can only do because the L1X protocol provides the technology to enable it. Now, another thing that I want to talk about as well, it's not on the slide, but we've got the DEX guys building out, which is fantastic. They'll be providing some great opportunities in terms of the balancer pool and extending beyond that service as well in terms of liquidity. for the cross-chain swaps. And, so that'll be a great, not only will it be a great, I suppose, liquidity for cross-chain swaps, but it'll be a great opportunity for all those interested in putting their tokens to work in terms of going into the balancer pool. However, in terms of swaps, obviously there's cross-chain swaps, but there's also on-chain swaps, so swaps that you want to do on a chain. And obviously, when you look at some of these cross-chain swap providers that also do on-chain swaps, they're limited in what they can do. So what we're also looking at now is also introducing a DEX aggregation into the L1X app. DEX aggregation basically allows the system to find the best liquidity for a particular swap on one chain. So let's say you want to do a swap on Ethereum. It allows to find the best liquidity, or it could be through Uniswap, could be through Sushi, whatever it is, whatever the most efficient swap solution is for that particular pair that you're swapping. Now, that in itself, there's plenty of providers that do the DEX aggregation. However, once you take DEX aggregation and you combine that DEX aggregation with crosstalk in terms of the cross-chain interoperability, what we're working towards is the ability to swap any token on any chain we're connected to with any other token on any other chain that we're connected to, even if we're not providing or one of our partners are not providing the liquidity. Now, how that works is the DEX aggregator will source the liquidity itself from existing liquidity providers on that chain. So you might take a highly obscure token that's listed on Binance Smart Chain and want to swap it for a highly obscure token that's listed on Uniswap. Now, you can't do that at the moment. But with the use of DEX aggregation and Crosstalk's ability to go cross-chain, what we're building towards is a place where you can swap any token with any other token, no matter how obscure it is, as long as there's liquidity in the market for that token, then our technology will be able to facilitate that. Now, just to give you an idea, that's massive, right? So if we have a look at just the kind of size of the market, so cross-chain swap size of the market is about $100 billion in volume in a year. DEX aggregation, so we just look at one DEX aggregator, for example, which is just on-chain. This is not cross-chain, this is just on-chain. So single-chain DEX aggregation. Just 1inch, for example. 1inch is a provider. They did 125 billion in volume in the last 12 months. So by us coming to market and developing as we are now an opportunity to swap any token with any other token on any chain we're connected to, you can imagine, and do that in a way which is faster, cheaper, and safer than anyone else. That provides an opportunity for L1X coin holders and the protocol to grow exponentially, just because swaps, whether they're cross-chain or on-chain, are the most used action. I would say swaps and sends, the most used action by users. So if we can provide in the app, now we're going to be talking about some amazing technology that will be revolutionizing the way you use crypto blockchain with data, and that will help expand millions, billions of users. And in the short term, getting the use case or the actions that people are already taking through swaps and sends and getting that to a level where we can do it in a way that no one else can do it. In the short term, we'll bring those initial users on, and then all these other features will expand the number of users there as well. So, Chief, if you can move to the next slide. So with staking, obviously we've got the single staking options there in the L1X app, and that, for those who don't know, that single staking provides liquidity for the cross-chain swaps. More liquidity will be added as more people stake, but also once the L1 DEX comes on board with their balancer pool liquidity, which they're saying is going to be really highly attractive to put tokens in there because you'll be earning some pretty attractive rewards. That will deepen the liquidity even more. But beyond that, in terms of where we want to head with the staking opportunities, why not leverage crosstalk, right? Why not provide staking opportunities? Let's say you want to stake on some Ethereum nodes. Let's say you want to stake on some AVAX nodes. Let's say there's all these proof of stake chains that we're connected to that you want to stake their native coins onto and then earn a yield. So we'll be moving to, on the roadmap, moving to a place where you'll be able to do that. So it won't just be L1X staking opportunities. It'll be multiple blockchain staking opportunities that you'll be allowed to access through the staking page. Now you may also want to mix it up. So through one place, you might want to have 20% on Ethereum nodes, 40% on L1X nodes. You might want to have 10% on AVAX nodes. Whatever that is, it'll give you the opportunity through one interface to be able to do that. And that gets back to that what Kevin said before in terms of the L1X app. It really is, what we're building towards here is the ability for the user to experience Web3 from one single space. And so moving on in terms of the roadmap, in terms of the middle of this month, we'll be having the referral program, which is the Expert program, and I'll talk a little bit more about that now. The Experts program, which will be coming out extremely soon, the claim integration, and the wallet profile. So let me talk about a few of these right now for you guys. So the next one, Expert program. So Expert program is the opportunity. Now, all I say to anyone listening to this in terms of the Expert program, the early bird gets the worm. Once people realize the opportunity that you have through the Expert program, and there's a ton of people using it, right, then you'll have people to compete with, right, in terms of spreading the word out there and you being able to earn from this Expert program. So basically, the Expert program provides an opportunity for anybody to help showcase, help promote the L1X app, but also multiple opportunities to earn from that as well in terms of the Expert program. We've already got a few influencers in the Expert program, and I'm proud to say we've got key community members that are involved in the Expert program as well, and we're extremely happy that they're involved. But if you go to the next slide, Mike, there's a few different ways that you can earn from the Expert program. So first, there's obviously, if we're doing a raise like we are now, if we raise in the future, there's always the opportunity for a referral bonus through that raise by referring people to participate in those capital raises. The other area is actually sharing the Expert program referral links will be out. We're aiming for the end of next week that you'll be able to get these referral links. But we do have a core set of influencers that we're working with in terms of really working with on quality content, AMAs, all those sort of things. If you are an influencer and you're interested in joining the Expert program specifically, please raise a ticket and reach out to us, and we'll be happy to be in contact with you and just to have a discussion about whether it's the right fit. But in terms of earning, anyone you refer to, use your link to refer to the app that uses the app. Because you referred them, then you'll be able to earn 10% of all the activity fees generated by the user for the lifetime of their activity, which once we start to build out these additional features, you can imagine the swaps from any token to any token, how useful that is and the amount of activity that generates. I think you find it fairly lucrative in terms of that, and then obviously all the other features we're about to talk about as well in this presentation. On top of that, the widget. So that swap widget that swap function is actually a widget as well. So you'll be able to take that widget. People can take that widget and put it on their own website and provide, let's use an example like a project. A project may want to take that widget, put it on their website to provide an extra bit of service to the community. Now, any fees generated through that widget, 20% of all those fees, those transaction fees, created by their widget will go to the project that implements the widget on their site. If you refer a project or any, a media outlet or anyone that puts that widget on their website and you've referred them, and then the project that puts or the entity that puts the widget on their website gets 20%, but because you referred them, you get 10% of all those transaction fees. So And I go back to what I said before, the early bird gets the worm. Once the word gets out and these features start to get built out on the L1X app, and more features come, we could have a ton of users. And once a user gets on here with some of these features that we're building out, they'll become pretty sticky and pretty active. So I would urge you, once those referral links are out, get active there, because early on there'll be a few people that are going out there with and promoting this. But once word gets a hold of, word gets out there, then there'll be a lot of people doing it. Next slide, Mike. Thank you. And then, with those referral rewards that are coming in, you'll be able to see that, as Merkelroot said before, within your profile, there'll be that claim section in there where you'll be able to link up all your referral codes, and then you'll be able to see those rewards coming in and be able to claim from one spot. So you'll be able to aggregate all your referral links into one spot, and then be able to see those rewards ticking over and claim when they're ready to claim as well. Now, this isn't just limited to L1X referral codes. Let's say a project is coming through on L1X and has their own referral code that they want people to push out there and earn rewards from. You'll be able to bring that code in here as well. So you'll be able to see in one place all these referral links that you're earning from as well, and be able to claim from there, which I think is pretty exciting. So next slide, Mike. Also, we'll have some support in there as well. So let's say if you're having an issue with claiming, or you'll be able to raise a ticket for support within that section. The next slide I want to talk about is the X-Perk program. So this one here will be released really soon. So by the end of next week, we'll have this out. And this one really, I think I'm really excited about this one here, because it's not just a staking program where you earn APR off the transaction fees. There's all these additional benefits, whether it be merch giveaways, event giveaways, launchpad access to projects to invest in these early stage amazing projects that are coming through. It could be Alpha Club access, where you're first to get the alpha. So we'll be releasing all the details very soon with the X-Perks program. But to kind of give you an idea, in mainnet beta, what we're doing is we're providing an opportunity in mainnet beta for people to get in early on this X-Perk program. So the X-Perk program, in terms of the staking opportunity, will come from full mainnet, but the X-Perk program, and during mainnet beta, you can opt in early. The requirements for each tier will be a lot less during mainnet beta, because we want to open it up for those people that are already part of the community. But those tiers to get into those minimum L1X coin requirements will jump up in full mainnet once we get into full mainnet. But there'll be heaps of bonuses with the X-Perk program. It'll be an opportunity for you to opt into a specific tier and earn bonus L1X coins. All the other bonuses that come with the X-Perk program as well, in terms of depending on which tier you want to go ahead and opt into, and which vesting period you want to select. The next slide, which is also coming on the roadmap as well, I think this one is probably towards the end of December, is the NFT Marketplace. Now, I know I've talked about this a few times. So what we'll be doing is creating a marketplace on the app where your holders of NFTs will be able to place their NFTs into the marketplace on the app, but at the same time place it into selected marketplaces that you wish to also sell the NFT in. So for example, let's say I've got an NFT, I'll place it into the NFT Marketplace on the app, but I want to select Blur.io, I want to select OpenSea, I want to select Magic Eden, and we'll probably have 2 or 3 options to begin with, and we'll grow those options out. Then you can do that as well. So now you're not only exposed to buyers in one marketplace, you're exposed to buyers across the majority, well, basically the majority of buyers, NFT buyers, across these massive marketplaces. So giving you access to buyers in the tens of thousands, maybe, beyond in terms of that. And it's interesting to see with the market conditions at the moment, NFT sales have actually picked up, which is quite cool. But that will be in the app as well. So once again, giving you access to Web3 from one place. And then the next slide, Mike, if you can, is the wallet profile. So here, once again, you'll be able to go through, you'll be able to see, you'll be able to aggregate your wallets all into the L1X app, right? And to be able to have delegated access where you can start to manage these wallets all from one place. And similar to the profile page, you'll be able to see multiple assets across all of these wallets, all through the wallet profile as well. And then the next one is the roadmap up to the end of November. And this is where I think I'll probably hand over to Mirko to go through this, and then because we're about to head into these space cards as well.
Yep. Maybe if you can skip one slide, one more slide, Mike. Yep. Okay, great. All right. So, we talked about bringing your data from Web 2 into Web 3, controlling that information, sharing it with other people, and having the ability to monetize your data. Now, it's pretty complex, if you don't have a way to do these things seamlessly. And one of the things that, we actually want to push forward is something called as space cards. Think of space cards as a completely new way to build information on the internet. It could be a person, it could be an influencer, it could be a business, it could be a business. It doesn't really matter. And space cards are categorized into multiple different formats. Now, there will be certain space cards that we will give out as a template, but you will be able to go in and build your own space card based on the requirements you may have. Now, looking at this profile card, let's take the example of this. Now, in the profile card, you're going to have your name, mobile number, email, date of birth, etc. Once you put this information into a space card and you hit the save button, the information is going to be encrypted on your device, and it is going to be sent to the blockchain. So even we will not have control over your data. The best way to think about this is, let's say you're going to the Australian Crypto Convention and you have your profile established there with your social links, your professional links. You can pick and choose what information you want and hit the share button, put the username of the other person or mobile number, and it will share that space card with that specific person. And space cards will include profile-based financial cards, social cards, health-based cards, KYC-based cards, referral, gaming, professional, development, design and photography, content writers, discussion, streaming, e-commerce, business. And if you go on to the social card and you connect your Facebook account, it will bring your data from Facebook into Web3. All the data that you generated, which is post, photos, comments, likes, your personal information, your videos, your groups, it will bring in and organize it in your space card. Now, why are we doing this? Because we know that you have already generated data across all these platforms. So if you sign in and allow the space card to access your data, only you can encrypt that data and store it on the chain. And this is a way of bringing information that you have already created across all the places and put it up directly into a space card. The next slide, please. Yeah. Just to give you an example, this is your referral card. Now, think about it this way. L1X will also have a space card in terms of the technology, in terms of the projects, in terms of the buy process. If you were referring someone about L1X, you don't need to write a blurb. Just go to the L1X space card, share that, and attach your referral card along with it. So you can scroll the referral cards or your space cards vertically, like an infinite scrolling, depending on the number of cards you have, or you can swipe it horizontally based on the modes. So if you have a referral card for this, you may have a referral card for a project that is listing on us. So you swipe right and you go to that referral card. And if you are on the phone, it will be in that format that you see. It will also be on the same format on the desktop. But you can expand that card if a business has created a website using space cards. For example, as a business, when you create a website, and as a user, when you go to that website, every time you see a different version in terms of how the content and the media is laid out. Through space cards, we can unify that, which is a business can go in and create 4 cards: about us, product, payment, and contact us. In products, they can have different modes. So a person can keep going and swiping right to look at those products. Your social card. Now, your social card is where all your social media related information can be brought in. And of course, we'll start off with a few social accounts like Facebook and Instagram. And the beauty about this is, once you bring in this information here on the space card, you wanted to share something from your LinkedIn and from your Instagram together. You can go in and select this information and share that with a customized view of a space card with the other person. If you like some card, you can add it to your contacts or add it to your favorites. And if you add somebody's profile, like let's say you add my profile into your contact list and you go to my profile, you will see the same layout in terms of how your profile is set up. So you don't have to juggle around and see where is this information. And at the same time, if you do not have the access to that information, you can request access. So if I go in and I see a notification, I can approve the access for that information with you. The gaming card. One of the other card that we are releasing is the gaming card, where all the games that you will play on the L1X app gaming home screen, it will collect your information according to your skills. So you can match with players. You can use the collateral contract to be the leaderboard, to be the winner on the leaderboard, and the winner takes all. Because your wallet is already connected, and if a game has listed with us, you can give them access to your game card so that they can give you customized game or roles in that game based on your skill set. You want to find players, you can do it in the same way. Now, all this is good, but once you go 5 cards and 5 modes, that's 25 cards to look at. It can get pretty complex because there will be an ability to look at website products. Websites can, or businesses can have a new product as an advertisement. And only if you save that business card in your contact, that business can advertise to you. And you can turn it off. Now, one more other feature is, imagine you're a content writer and you want to monetize your content. All the content you have created on Medium, you'll be able to create a content card in the space card section, connect Medium, and bring all your content in that space card. Now, if you share the article with someone and there is an advertiser wanting to advertise in that particular article space or inside your space card, the user can also get some value for reading that information. It's the concept of advertiser, publisher, and the consumer, where the consumer also gets a part of the advertiser's money. Now, imagine you bring your Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Medium, all these kinds of information, and based on that information, you provide access for analytics, and based on that, the recommendations as to what a user should see in the form of advertisement can be made. And this is how your data can be monetized, where there will be granular level access that you can give. I only want to give my Twitter access data to this business for this purpose, and it will all be in a template format. But to easily navigate your cards, the people you are connected with, the information you have shared, and the control you have over that information, if you move over to the next 2 slides, please. Yeah, we have something called as a Web3 connection galaxy. Now, if you have a kid and you want to show the world to the kid, you give him the globe. He rotates the globe, the kid gets excited and he wants to go places. Through the galaxy, you will be able to zoom in infinitely into each and everything. For example, you're going to the Australian Crypto Convention. Now you met 10 people. What are they doing? You want to filter them according to their business. You want to filter them according to, is this an investor who could invest so I can share my referral card or not? You can filter in the galaxy and it will give you a filtered view of what you are looking for. And on the bottom left section of the L1Xapp.com that you see is what is the search. So if you wanted to search the galaxy, you can search the galaxy from that part as well. And this is going to extend into businesses creating websites, creating e-commerce based websites on the space cards as well. So every product in there will be classified as an NFT that you can track. And this gives opportunity for understanding that if a product has been bought and if you're selling it on a marketplace, what is the originality of this product? And the galaxy is a seamless way to access this information. And we are building that ourselves. But that's not it. How do you, as a person, as an influencer, as a business, build space cards that are not already available? We will, of course, give you certain templates, but what if you want to build your own custom space card, right? And to do that, if you go to the, if you skip a few slides and go to the objects, yeah, we are actually, finishing up the build of something that will make it easy for you. It's a CMS system, drag and drop. You have the space card design. You have the control contracts. You will be able to build a space card according to you. So let's say you are hosting a birthday party. It's your birthday party, and you want to invite people, and you build your birthday card. You put a background of yours with a picture, and you put a custom label, name, food requirements, time, venue, and share that card with everyone that you want from your galaxy. It's going to be a drag and drop, and it's going to be based on something called as WordPress Elementor, which you are already used to. So if you wanted to get started on Web3 by building your own projects, there's no better way to do it than dragging and dropping, because you could build a space card, integrate the swap widget inside it, and publish it on a website and share that link with your referral ID. So it's the ability to use the L1X infrastructure with a completely new way of doing things. And not only that, very soon we will be releasing a feature called as capture. How you post on Instagram, how you post on Facebook, how you post on LinkedIn, you'll be able to post a capture. The definition of capture is when you post certain thing on these social medias, those are isolated events. With capture, you can have a time lapse, which is if on day 7, I was clicking a picture of me eating food, there was something that led me to it. So you can create like a 24-hour time lapse that I was doing this at hour this, I was doing that at hour that. And according to that time lapse, you can share things with people such as social friends, business friends, your health-based friends, and etc. There is also something called as a message. Now, because all these information that you will put, it will have to be verified that you are the owner of this information. The message is a way to start connecting with people even without giving out any information. You meet someone, but you're not sure you want to give out information, just use a message. And this message can be used as a form of payment as well, which is, I don't know anything about this person, but I just want to verify this person is legitimate or not. I open up the app, I get my QR code scanner, or I put in the username, and without having your wallet on your phone, without having to remember your private key on your phone, you will be able to make payment through a non-custodial account or a contract. So once you load, it's like a Venmo concept. Once you load some money into a decentralized payment contract from your phone, because you have signed in to these places, we can understand you are this person. and you will be able to make micropayments directly to the other person. It expands so many things where your biometric verification can be used. Your social verification can be used. Your health-based verification can be used, right? And it's a way of taking all this data that's already there and available and bringing it into Web3 in a just sign in and allow concept where only you can see this information because it's encrypted on the device. We don't have control over it. But not only that with objects. In objects on the next slide, you'll see that you can have real-time data synchronization. What I mean by that is, let's say you're a YouTube influencer, you're a Discord member, X, Y, and Z. Now, your subscribers are increasing. Now, if you build a link tree, for example, you can't insert your YouTube numbers on a dynamic way because it's changing. Every minute it can change. Through objects, you can connect your YouTube subscriber number and drag and drop that. So anyone looking at the space card is going to see real-time information of your YouTube subscribers, but you can automate things. So for example, if I go to a family trip and I click a picture of the kids, I want to automatically allow permission to my wife to have access to this picture, right? I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but anyways, you should have the ability for automating that flow. For example, you have a referral code. The moment I make this referral amount, I want to stake it into something and buy a stable coin. You can automate that for you in your space card. So Objects CMS is going to allow businesses to go and do so many things. And at the same time, it's going to be built on the backbone of WordPress, where the already available extensions on WordPress can be used inside these CMS system. And it's going to be open sourced in a way. So if you don't like, you can copy paste somebody's space card and see, okay, I love this space card with this design. I want to copy paste and start building on that template. So there will be a marketplace for people to sell their space cards design as well. So as you see, from the last few months, we built the protocol. We've got some amazing projects that are coming on board. But at the same time, we are building out an infrastructure that's going to allow you to start using these hardcore protocol features directly in a seamless way by bringing in your information from Web 2 into Web 3, monetizing that. So even if you keep using Facebook, great. The more you use Facebook, the more monetization you can have here, or just use Capture. So in this way, we are not competing, but we are collaborating with people to give you the ultimate power of your data so that tomorrow, if you stop using Facebook and LinkedIn, no problem. You still have the data that you can monetize while you still keep using your space cards. Yep, that's all.
I think, thanks, Mikkel. Look, I think you guys can see, everyone on this live, that we've been busy. It's an understatement, right? The amount of stuff, and I just see some comments in the chat, people needing to go over and watch this video over and over again, and I encourage you to do that, just to really absorb everything that either Chief, myself, or Merkelroot have spoken about. And as we roll these features out this month, next month, and beyond, I go back to what I said earlier about things like the Expert program, where being able to refer people to use the L1X app and be able to generate your own income from their activities. Once you start to really understand what can be done with this app and what will be able to be done with this app and the stickiness it will have once someone goes on and starts to use these features, I think you realize the power of the app. And really, getting back to where it all started, right, is unification of chains, unification of people around the world through one interface that gives you access to everywhere on Web3 as we continue to connect more and more chains. Now, a bit of sneaky alpha that we haven't covered, just because you're probably drowned in alpha already, but we are making extremely good progress on Bitcoin network connection, and we are extremely confident of the timeline that we've given ourselves of Q1 of next year. Extremely confident. So also stay tuned for that. But look, I hope everyone got a lot out of the presentation today. Please go ahead, watch it over and over again. We've got some other special announcements we'll be making next week as well. And for those people that are coming over to Melbourne to the conference, please come and see us. For the street team guys, thank you so much for the support by having you there and really being able to promote what L1X is doing. We really appreciate that as well. And we really appreciate the community, right? That you guys, the guys that have been here ever since the start, you know, and it's still pre-full mainnet. We're still in that mainnet beta phase. So for you to be here at this time and to be able to witness these things that we're going to be bringing to market, that we've already brought to market, and for you to be active on these things that, you know, Merkle Root and the team are building, I think is a pretty special time in blockchain. So we thank everyone again. We thank all the support crew. We thank the community, and we look forward to talking to you guys and seeing you guys again very soon.
Just wow! I think that's pretty much all we need, guys. Let's call it there. That's an amazing presentation from the team. Once again, thanks everybody for jumping in. What more could you possibly want from an interaction like that? That's perfection. I know that we'll have that up very shortly on YouTube and shareable very soon. Pressure's on for James. But once again, thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll sign that out there. And we'll see you very shortly. Once again, thanks everybody coming down to the ACC. We'll actually see you in person shortly. And for the rest of you, we'll see you online as soon as possible. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.